When filming a green screen, you want to remember a few key things. The first is that the green screen should be big enough to fill the entire subject and potentially the frame so that it makes it a little bit easier to key out what you don't want. The other thing that I believe is most prevalent is making sure that the green screen is smooth without any wrinkles. This is to ensure that there are no dark green shadows that will interfere with removing the green screen in post. Our green screen here is a bit wrinkly, so I've added some clamps to grip each end to its stand to keep it taut. And the last thing to keep in mind is to have the green screen evenly lit and brightly lit enough to create contrast and separation between the background and our subject. To begin lighting our green screen, I have set 2 lights on each end so that both may project enough light to fill more than half of the green screen. They are also somewhat placed away from the green screen so that the light can diffuse it entirely rather than create a narrow hotspot, which is what we don't want at all. Now we have 2 more lights to add to our set. One will be our key light, which is placed in front of the talent at a 45-degree angle. It looks better having the light slightly higher than our talent so that it doesn't wash out her face, but simply brightens it evenly. The other light was placed on the opposite side of the first one and used as a fill light. It is meant to fill in any of the dark areas on the talent without overexposure. Placing it a little farther away does the trick. You can also just dim it if you have a dimmable light, or use some gel or fabric to put over it. You can also use the second talent light as a backlight if you need more separation from the green screen and the talent. Our green screen and talent are all lit up. Now let's head into the editing process. Now that we've set up the green screen properly and we've filmed our talent for this music video, I'm going to jump into the computer and show you guys how I'm going to green screen the background out in Premiere Pro so that you can go ahead and replace it with any background that you would like to do. Alright, so now we're here in Premiere Pro and you can see that I have the sequence open with the footage of our patron here singing and the audio all synced up. What we're going to do now is basically key out this green screen so that we can replace it with any video, any photo that we would like to add. To do that, we're going to go here into Effects and we're going to go to Ultra key. This is the effect that we're going to use to key out the green screen behind her. And now I'm just going to grab it here and drag it into the clip here, which you can see it kind of has this border around it once I hover over it. So now when I put it in here, it comes up and it shows in the effect controls as an effect that's in our clip. It defaults to black, it's just how it is on here, and nothing has changed because of that. We want to key out the green, so what we're going to do is going to click on this box to choose our color, or you can just click on this dropper, but if not, you can click here and then click on this dropper, and just click there and do OK. Now, not much has to be done here because it's a pretty evenly lit green screen. Now, I do notice a little bit of grain and noise around here. And we're just going to fix that through these parameters that we have. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the shadow here and we're going to make it a little bit darker. So there's shadows and highlights that are shown around here. We're just going to grab here and move it. You see what that does? Now, what we don't want it to do is to go too far where it starts to kind of cut the edge of our subject. So we're going to play around with it until we find the best spot. As you can see, as if I go higher, it's making that spectrum of the shadows much lighter. We're going to the far right of it. We don't want to do that. So we're going to kind of, it was set to 50. We're probably going to go to 40. Let's just type that in, 40. Now, I see just a little bit on the bottom left here. So what we're going to do is just going to go to the highlights and drop it down. And just to see a little bit better, now you can see it's all evenly keyed out. And it doesn't even hit really the edge of our subject. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play around with this track a little bit. So here you can see is the image. It's just going to be an image of China since the video pertains to it. And we're going to put that into our track sequence here. So I'm going to, because it's a photo, I'm just going to extend it as long as the video is. I'm going to scale it out. It's got a good 16:9 aspect ratio, so that will be good once we scale it out to fit the entire screen, like that. Now this is clearly not what we want. we want our subject in front of this background. So what we're going to do is play around with these layers and just bring our subject to the top. There we go. Now we have the subject in front of the background that was originally green, and now we've replaced it with our own photo that we found online. And it'll just play like that. Alright, so we've successfully green screened the background and placed the subject here in the front. Now it's just the photo in the background playing along with this song. Now, when we filmed this, we were only supposed to do it in one angle, so it's only one camera that was being used. If you choose to zoom in on a subject that has a green screen keyed out, you're going to need to adjust the parameters of that background as well. So what I'm talking about is, let's say I want this portion here to cut. Let's just slice this. So it goes from this wide shot, or I guess medium shot, but wide shot in reference to the close-up that we're about to do. So this clip here, this track layer is our subject. I'm going to go into scale and just zoom in and kind of just play with the position as well and zoom in there. Alright, what I'm going to do as well is, this is all about perspective. So I'm going to also do the same with the background here. Because obviously from here to that looks just weird. Nothing changed in the perspective of the background. Obviously we can tell that this is a green screen. It looks fake. She's not actually there in the real setting. The lighting is all out of whack and all of that. But at least the least we could do is adjust that perspective. So I'm going to scale this also. Since both of these visual tracks were in the same position in the start of this, as you can see here, they're both in 960/540, 960/540 of the X and Y. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the exact same Y axis here, 661, into this one. So I'm just going to type here, 661. And that moved. So what I'm going to have to do now is scale it out. And this one is all about the visual since it started at different points. So all I'm going to do now is zoom in on this photo to fill the top, just like that. So when you go back here and into the zoomed in one, it's more smooth. It blends in better and the perspective here is not disrupted. And that is how you green screen a music video.
Now that we've got our audio mixed and our green screen dialed in, let's take a look at the final product. And with that, we conclude today's program. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to create a lip-sync music video using ProTools, green screen technology, and Adobe Premiere. If you'd like to stay in tune with what we're doing here in Studio 1405, go ahead and check us out on Facebook and YouTube. You can subscribe to those videos and be able to keep up to date with us on a monthly basis. From everyone here at the Poplar Creek Public Library District and in Studio 1405, stay safe out there. I've been Jonathan. Keep creating.